the Caribbean has long defined 1.5 degrees as a threshold for viability. You know, the Caribbean was part of the push globally, you know, that and came up with the slogan 1.5 to stay alive. You know, why? Why does 1.5 kind of represent that threshold? Well, for us, it's that kind of threshold because a couple of things happen after 1.5 from our perspective. One, after 1.5, we don't just kind of enter an environment where we see multi-hazard every now and then or you know, beginning to happen more frequently. I think we enter into a realm where the unprecedented now becomes inescapable. So we reach warming temperatures where temperature records will be broken that we have never seen. We'll reach drying conditions as we have never seen before. So when we begin to go there now, we now get into the realm of the unprecedented, cannot escape the unprecedented. When we go past 1.5, the levels of vulnerability become expanded, and that's critical. So we already have defined, you know, in the current environment, some key climate vulnerable people. And you can almost begin to think of them, you know, clearly farmers in our context are key climate vulnerable people, but so are, you know, people with certain kinds of diseases that are climate sensitive. Well, when we reach 1.5, you not only expand the population of those who become more vulnerable, but you almost as well create new climate vulnerable people. So you're expanding the levels of vulnerability, you know, and that will include now not just people, but biodiversity, you know, heritage sites, which are not designed for this kind of intense climate, outdoor workers, you know, children, elderly, you know, even a future generation becomes part of this expanded vulnerability after 1.5. So you expand the vulnerable after 1.5 and 2. And then the last thing I would say perhaps is when we reach 1.5, we all have signed up to these 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. The kind of research that is being done says that these goals get pushed farther and farther, or the achievement of these goals gets pushed farther and farther away. And these development goals almost become unattainable, you know, for the Caribbean region. And so for us, the impact of hitting 1.5 or even going higher is really significant for these reasons.